Welcome to the POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone after the Utah Jazz move back to 6 games over 500 with a 97-93 win tonight. If we could just eliminate the last 2 minutes and the first 13 minutes, the Jazz were really pretty terrific tonight. They came out sluggish as all get out. It was really something else to see. They scored just 10 points in the first quarter, a season low. And really maybe the most important story of the night, Ron, is either Minnesota was incapable or the Jazz defended well enough to make sure that they didn't get blown out. The Jazz have been so bad defensively in the back end of back-to-backs, so bad defensively on the road, and that wasn't a problem tonight, and it let them win the basketball game despite having no offense for the first 12 minutes.
And I think Coach Corbin was very concerned with that. You know, the Jazz trailed by 10, you know, and the bench, the guys that, and he continued to make substitutions, you know, putting a different guy in here, trying to find some energy and a pace that hopefully that they could have played, that they played with last night. That didn't happen, and the Jazz still were able to get back in the ballgame. And I think it was the defense had a lot to do with that. But offensively, they were just, it was like they were standing around waiting for you to do it, and I'll take the night off.
Let's go to the defense for a second, because Minnesota's not a great offensive team right now, but they've actually come in and really been on an uptick. Ricky Rubio had changed who they were. They were shooting 48% in the month of February. They seemed as though they were there, and here all of a sudden they shoot 34% of the night. They only hit 5 of 22 for 3. Contrast that, the Jazz were allowing teams to shoot 49% from the field on the road and 42% from 3. This is maybe as good a defensive outing as the Jazz have had in those statistics. They allowed 38 free throws, which is too many, but otherwise, they really may have won this game on the defensive end tonight.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you, and you know, this is something that they need to improve on. It is the defense on the road. They were able to do that and come out with a victory. Now, the outside shooting of the Minnesota Timberwolves wasn't good at all, and the way they got back into the basketball game was dribble penetration and some play on the inside. The Jazz get 54 points in the paint, and they give up 30, but I think most of those were late in the ball game.
The other thing tonight is they come out at halftime. They lead this game they trailed by at the half. No, they led it 42-40 at the half. And I don't know if they said anything in the locker room or if they said anything to each other, but Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson just grabbed this team and said, "Jump on. We're getting a win tonight." And they dominated that third quarter. I think Jefferson, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Jefferson off the top of my head had 12 or 13 and Millsap had 7. And the two of them really willed this team into control of this basketball game.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right with the numbers, but those were the guys that got it going. There was only 6 points scored by anyone else in that quarter, and so those are the guys that ended up getting the Jazz the lead after 3, 68-63, and pushed that lead up as high as, 13, only to relinquish it because of some pressure, defense, and a couple of key baskets there by Minnesota.
And I think what we also saw was the beauty of that tandem, because Pekovic is a hard matchup for Al because he's so big. Derek Williams couldn't deal with Paul Millsap at all, and we have seen more and more recently that if one of them can't get it going, the other has been able to, and that's where that tandem is really special. And when you don't have one of those two on the floor, they don't have the ability to go at the other choice, and that's maybe what's changing most about this team is that, hey, if Al doesn't have it, then Paul goes and beats his guy, and they find a way to get that going. It's been the answer to how to deal without Gordon Hayward.
And we haven't seen that. We didn't see that at the beginning of the year because, you know, everyone's trying to find their game at the beginning of the year. Al was trying to find his. Paul was struggling, especially in his perimeter game. But now that both are playing well, they can read each other very, very well. And as you mentioned, especially since Gordon has been out, you know, they have to be the ones to step forward and score some points. And it's kind of, you know, sometimes when you see them both off the floor at the same time, and I know a lot of times during the course of the ball game, you're wondering, okay, where's it coming from?
That's going to shorten up our postcast because Damari Carroll's going to be a post-game guest for us here in a minute. So that's POSTCAST, Jazz. Go to the All-Star break. Have a good one.